All right, everybody, welcome to Velocity Motorsports. We are at the sunny skies of Michigan tonight for 110 laps here at Michigan. This is going to be a fast-paced race, hopefully, kind of a super speedway-esque track. But this is race number 7 in Velocity Motorsports for the Next Gen Series. Joining the booth, as always, by Shadilak. Shad, you spent some time out on the track tonight. We've got about a minute and a half left of practice, and we'll go into qualifying. Give us a little rundown on what you experienced on track.
Yeah, so first off, the fuel for tonight, the window is going to be roughly around probably 27 to maybe 30 with the draft. I think it's more or less going to be around the 28 mark is where these guys are going to hit. But on track, what I was feeling when I was running some laps out there with the guys, car's pretty loose on the first lap with the tires being cold. After that, it feels really good. The only tricky spots for tonight are going to be if you venture down into the bottom lane in these turns, going over that bottom seam, it upsets the car at both ends of the track. It's not terrible, but if you're full throttle on cold tires going over those seams, either whether crossing it to get under it and then crossing it to come back out of the turn 2 or turn 4, It does upset the car to where if you're not ready, it will come around on you, and that's something that drivers are going to have to be, aware of when it comes to making passes below somebody. But that second groove is probably going to be the preferred groove to start the race. But I think as these tires get older, we're going to see guys start to migrate toward the wall on both ends of the track. As I ran some laps up there, it feels amazing. There is one tricky spot in 3 and 4. I'm guessing it's where the tunnel is. There's a little bit of a bump right in the middle of 3 and 4 that kind of upsets the car. So if you're on the throttle when you go over that bump, it can make you turn around. So that's something that guys are going to be aware of as well. But other than that, the car feels great. If you take care of the tires, you should be all right. If not, it's going to start to get really tight on you towards the end and want to push up to the wall. So we're going to have to make sure that these guys, if they want to win this thing, and hopefully it goes long, green flag runs, that they're going to have to take care of their tires a little bit.
Well, last week, Shad, we had a rocky race at Rockingham, to say the least. But we came out with a lot of penalties from that race because of the actions on track. The 26 was penalized 15 points for repeated incidents. He was on probation, including wrecking the leaders based on having a wheel malfunction issue. Granted, understand, wheel malfunctions happen, but it took out the leaders. So there's going to be a 15-point deduction to the 26. 45 is going to get an EOL tonight for reckless driving at the end of the race, when they're one race probation as well. 39's got to run one race probation and an EOL tonight. The 22 of Blaney, his was a sponge, or gotten rid of. 45 Brandon Watkins was a 3-race probation, 10-point dock, and an EOL to start Michigan. Caused 4 wrecks, including punting a guy on the last lap, apparently. So, big point for him, point deduction for him, and the EOL for tonight, and on the 3-race probation. 21 of Nathan Bond got an EOL for this race as well. Reckless driving on the last lap, where he dove it in really, really deep, and basically wrecked 3 or 4 guys there. The 2 of Ryan Crooks, who won that race last week at Rockingham, the race of attrition, he will get a pass-through penalty to start the race at Michigan tonight, Shad. He jumped the last 2 restarts that should have been caught by race control, but they were missed and weren't gotten fast enough to where he would have gotten a penalty for it. So admin owners got together and dished out a pass-through penalty. That's a huge penalty to start a race, Shad. It's not something easily gotten back from. We do have the stage break, so if we go green throughout the front of the race here, even if he does go a lap down, most likely will happen because that pass-through penalty is going to keep him from sticking with the group. The draft is a huge part of this track as well. So if he does go a lap down, he can hopefully get that lap back at the stage break tonight. But a lot of different things coming out from Rockingham that the owner admins did not like or did not appreciate the guys just not really being prepared or not, just not being ready for that track. And it was a very tricky track to run. It's not a track that I've seen a lot of runs or races at in the next gen, so I don't know if it was that or if guys just didn't put the time in. But the owner admins wanted a focus on the drivers in this league to make sure that they're putting in the time so they don't have those type of races. And Chad, that's the first time we've seen that many cautions in a race in velocity. I think our record before was like right around 10 or something like that. But that was like 17 or 18 cautions last race. So just an oddball, but they don't want it to spiral and get bigger and bigger as we keep going. They want to nip it in the buck real quick. So, but Shad, we've got about 6.5 minutes left of qualifying. There's a bunch of guys who've gone out and already put down lap times, but I'm noticing those lap times are still not as fast as your lap time that you ran in practice. What is it that these guys need to figure out tonight? And then, who's the guy that you are looking at in the points that really needs to step it up to try to get back into this fold here before we get to playoff time, which is coming up pretty quickly. Nick Gowan still on the top of the points with his 1 win. Jovi Ray sitting there in second with a perennial second to third place finisher. Jose Ruiz, that silent assassin that I've been talking about, still sitting there in third. John Osborne moves up to fourth in the points. Tyler Belanger drops to fifth. Nathan Mon with his win 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, gets to sixth place. Bill Hales is in seventh. Wesley Jeanette eighth. Chris Murphy finally cracks the top 10 after two good finishes in a row. After some really bad races for him, he's now sitting ninth. And Andrew Bolander rounds out the top 10 there.
Yeah, and Andrew Bolander is actually going to take a provisional tonight, not able to make the race. So that's going to hurt him. He's going to drop out of the top 12 in points, I would assume. Um, but guys, outside of the top 10, Kurt, that, I'm still waiting to hear from when it comes to winning one of these races. Um, I don't know if is it 22 outside the top 10.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of who I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
Blaney's sitting in
Blaine.
12th. Crooks is sitting 13th.
Okay,
But
yeah,
he's missed a couple races too. Um, and then Cole Martin obviously sitting 22nd, but he's missed a bunch of races to start this season. Came in late, but he's starting to make his way up through. He just doesn't have the best finishes because he just gets caught up in something at the end. But he's had some really good runs though.
yeah. Crooks. I mean, obviously missing a bunch of races, and so with Cole Martin. I don't really, but Jason Blaney. A guy last season that showed a lot of speed, struggled on the long run, but showed a lot of speed through the first half of the runs, and got a win last season. I'm still waiting for that race of his to where we see a lot of speed from him, just maybe not on the long run. I'm waiting for one of those races out of Jason Blaney, which we have yet to see so far this season. So that's kind of who I got my eye on tonight. Um, Also, maybe I hate to say him because I don't want to jinx him, but Chris Murphy, um, last season was in contention to win a few races, did win a couple. Um, Kind of waiting for him to have a breakout race. Now, granted, he has gotten caught up in some wrecks, especially towards the end of races that have cost him finishing positions. But those are kind of the two I got my eye on for tonight to see if maybe they can finally have that breakout race and get back in this.
Yeah, and we've got some big races coming up too. We've got Darlington next week, Shad. One race that you've been really kind of talking about, and I know Jovi's been mentioning it a couple times too, is the race he has circled for him to finally break through that second and third finishes that he's been consistently having. But I mean, we got Bristol coming, we got Talladega, Las Vegas, and then we enter the playoffs. So I mean, tonight, race number 7, we only have what 8, 9, 10, 11. So only a few more races left in this opening half of the season before we get to that playoff round. And the guys who are not road course racers. That's the first race of the playoffs, and it's a big deal if you don't get the points that you need. And then we head off to Richmond and Kentucky. Richmond, short track racing, anything can happen. Kentucky, a D-shaped track that is difficult for a lot of people to get around, that the both ends don't really match up, and you have to drive them differently. Then we get into that playoff round number 2 where New Hampshire comes in, and then Charlotte, which is pretty much a normal, typical track, but it's got some funkiness to it that some guys can't figure out. A lot of guys do. And then we finally head off to that Championship 4 race in Iowa. So there's a lot of different races coming up that could be real backbreakers for a lot of guys. There's a few guys in the league that I look to be really fast at certain races throughout the rest of the schedule. But we'll see who steps up and who maybe kind of squanders their chance to go into the playoffs. I'm seeing Tyler B posting into the chat saying Crooks pass through penalty for tonight's race. Yeah, we already covered that one. So yeah, added that on to the penalties that were from last week's race due to his jumping of the restarts. They went back and reviewed those both. He still got the win, but he's gonna have a pass through penalty tonight. So if he can, like I said, if he can go a lap down, or if he does go a lap down, then we have the stage break. He could probably get back on the lead lap. He should be fast here tonight. But Shad, why don't we go into that national anthem and come on back for the starting grid of this race as these guys are wrapping up qualifying here shortly. All right, we're back for Velocity Motorsports race number 7 in the season, and we're at Michigan tonight. Qualifying has wrapped up, and we are getting ready to look at the starting grid here as the cars are now onto the starting grid, and we'll pull up the grid and see who got the pole position, and it's going to be Jose Ruiz with the top spot tonight, getting that pole position. Second is going to be Chris Murphy. Third, Nick Gowan. Fourth, Nathan Line. Let me back this grid up so you guys can see what we're looking at. Yeah. Fourth is going to be Nathan Line. Fifth is going to be Mark Math in the 199 Chevy. Tyler Belanger in the 88 Ford UPS machine will be starting 6th tonight. Cole Martin will be starting 7th. Jovi Ray going to roll off 8th. A little better qualifying position for him, Chad. He's been starting from the back in every single race, has been finishing 2nd. So we'll see if he can, get up to the front tonight. Logan Joyner going to round out at number 9. Johnny DePasquale will be number 10 tonight. Sean Walton 11th. Mike Papa Bear Canwell will be 12th. Devontae Peterson in that 5, getting his first top 3 finish of the season last week, will be 13th. Wesley Jeanette will be 14th. Austin Walton will be rolling off 15th. Dakota Ramsdale 16th. Shad, rock it on from there.
Yeah, so you got Jason Blaney in the 22 Ford coming off 17th. To his outside is going to be the 25 of Jason Palmer. 19th is going to be the 35 of David Mayo. 20th on his outside is going to be the 15th of Connor Elliott. 21st is going to be the 63 of Bill Sleep. 22nd is going to be the 12 of John Tiller. And 23rd, last car to take time in qualifying or allowed to take time, it's going to be the 13 of Brian Phillips. Then we got Ryan Crooks, 24th. 25th is going to be Bill Hells. 26th is going to be Nathan Mon. 27th is going to be the 81 of John Osborne. 28th is going to be the 44 of Brandon Watkins. 29th is going to be the 45 of Isaac Brock, and rounding out the 30-car field, Kurt, is going to be the 26 of J. Ryan Horvath.
All right, so like Chad said, we've got 30 cars in the field tonight, and it's going to be an eventful one out here at Michigan. Chad, there's a lot of tracks that I like watching. Michigan is one of them because of the speed that is carried on at these tracks here, like this. Talladega, Daytona, Michigan. All of those tracks, Chad, it's all speed. We see close to 200 miles an hour. In a single car. In the draft, you might get right at 200 or just over it sometimes. But it's going to be a fun race, I think. And, two teammates starting on that front row is going to be interesting to see who can help each other get behind each other, or how they'll, kind of figure that one out. But should be a fun one.
Yeah, it's going to be, if Chris Murphy can stay to the outside of his teammate getting into turn 1, I think the 7 will prevail coming off of 2. But pace car pulling down now, Kurt. This thing's about to go green.
All right, pace car is down pit road. Flag cam coming up, and we'll go to the starter and watch that green flag wave as they go through the restart zone. Jose Ruiz leading the man in turn 1. Race is underway for race number 7 for Velocity Motorsports.
Yeah, good start by the both front row, though. Murphy's trying to hang on to the outside of his teammate. Ruiz might have had him cleared there, but did not come up. That's going to allow that 7 car to hang to the outside as they enter the back stretch. Going off into turn 3, the 7 slightly ahead. And then is that the 38 of Nathan Mon going for 3rd place, I believe.
Nathan Line.
Over that, Nathan Line. He's going to prevail for 3rd place over Nick Gowan right now. The leader's still side by side, though, to complete this lap. Looks like the 7 is going to lead the first lap. Oh, and then they touch. They touch and they both spin. 23 coming back up into traffic.
Jose saved it big time there and actually avoided from making contact from a lot of different cars that were coming around there, Shed. There was a lot of carnage that could have happened there, and Jose Ruiz makes a huge save coming back up the track, and a lot of guys made avoidance calls too by sliding around or moving to avoid the 23 as he came up the track. We'll go back and take a look at this incident here between the two teammates, Chad, and it's surprising to see it. But, both these guys really want to win. They don't have wins this season. Both of them are inside the top 10 in points, but it's really close here for these guys to be, getting banging doors already to start this race. As we take a look back at the replay, 23-7 side by side. 7 trying to come down the track a little bit, thinking maybe the 23 would go down to the line. Does not. It gets turned around by the 23, both of them making contact with each other. I wouldn't say that's on one or the other. Maybe the 7 a little bit, Shad, and thinking that the 23 would, do the normal dive down to the line, but didn't. Got to use those mirrors, got to know where guys are at, and just came right across his teammate's nose. Luckily that both of them, it doesn't appear that the 23 got very much damage from that. I'm trying to see if the 7 got very much damage. I didn't see if he made contact. I'm trying to back it up now. Looks like he might have some damage on the left front. Spins across the grass, goes into the infield wall, bangs it off there a little bit, but it doesn't look too bad yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tires. The tires at least look like they're not broke as far as a tie rod. He does have a little bit of damage, like you said, on the left front and the left rear. And then the whole left side has got a pretty good dent to it as well. I think he should be good to just go ahead and fix it. Looking back at the replay, Kurt, it's hard to tell. Yes, the 7 does come down. But then watching the lines of where the seams are on the track, he kind of finds that third seam and just rides it. And then the 23 just so slightly comes up a little bit, and then there's some net code, and it just ends up turning the 7. So I don't know if you can really blame that, like you said, on either one of them. It's kind of just a bad racing deal with a little bit of net code, I think. Muted, Kurt?
Yeah, I'm looking through the different things that maybe Jose Ruiz just did. I don't think he used the fast repair. Chris Murphy definitely used his fast repair already. The tires did not go on the 23, so it doesn't look like he replaced the tires. He might have added fuel, or at least that's what I would have done, but he sat there long enough to get the little bit of damage that he had just from the 7 coming across his nose repaired. So he didn't have to use his fast repair, but the 7 definitely used his in that pit stop there. Neither one of them looked like they put tires on them. So I don't think they should, because it's super early to waste a set of tires.
Yeah, neither one of them took tires. I'm actually surprised Murphy used his fast repair. I think he probably could have had it all fixed and would have still had speed. But then again, I don't know. I wasn't inside the cockpit to know if maybe that wheel was having to get cranked one way or the other to be able to go straight. But unfortunate for him, completion of lap 1. Going to have to use that fast repair already with about 105 to go.
Yeah, it's a long 110 laps. This track is not small by any means, Shad. It's a 2-mile track, so to have that fast repair used already, and both of them being the front road, it puts them to the back. One's already used fast repair. I would hope both of them put fuel in. Even if it was just a lap or two, I would just throw a little bit of fuel in if you had to sit there to get the car fixed. But that's going to hand it over to Nathan Lineshad in the 38. We have not seen Nathan Line in this Fueled Up Motorsports admin box paint scheme up front a whole lot, Shad. The 3 of Nick Gowan we've seen up front a bunch. He's got the win. He's going to start on the bottom lane. But, yeah, Nathan Line going to take over the lead with that incident between 2 teammates, the 7 and 23, Chris Murphy and Jose Ruiz, making contact. Pit road, or pace cars down pit road. Cars are into the restart box. 38 gets the jump in the restart box and heads down the front stretch. And Nick Gowan is going to try to fall in line with 34. But Logan Joyner, who isn't a perennial up front in this league as of lately, is trying to get to the 3 as well. But the 3 falls in line with the 38 as they come out of turn 2. Headed down the backstretch.
Yeah, Nathan Lyon got a pretty good jump occur. As we have more contact on the backstretch, looks like the 22 of Blaney getting sent down towards the inside wall. Doesn't touch it, I don't believe. Just back home, but now is falling back behind Jose Ruiz for last place.
Yeah, he might lose the draft if he doesn't get to it quick enough, because they're starting to pull away from him right now. He needs to tuck in as much as he can and stomp on that gas pedal to get to those 8 feet so he does not lose this lap. If he loses that draft, Shad, you can pretty much imagine that these guys are going to come back around and lap him before the break.
He might be all right. I think he's close enough to where he should be good. If he has a couple good solid corners, he should be able to tuck right in. But Kurt, the group or the race is separated right now into 2 packs. We have a pack of 6 cars up front, and then they have about a 10, 15 car length lead over Devontae Peterson, who's leading the rest of the field. And out front, Kurt, Logan Joyner led that last lap as he's fighting side by side with Nathan Line as they head off into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Logan Joyner trying to use that bottom lane and try to slide up in front of the 38, but 38 using the top lane to carry so much momentum coming down the backstretch, pulls right alongside it and blows the doors off the 34 to go back into the lead as they head into turn 3 and 4. The rest of the field, Chad, separated by multiple lengths between the 2 different packs that are separated. I think that was because of when the 22 went down to the inside of the field. Everybody else kind of checked up and it created a gap there. But even the top 2, Chad, they're starting to pull away from the 3 and the 199 of Mark Math.
Yeah, with these 2 fighting side by side, I think they're running a pace that Gowan is not, obviously, because I think he's trying to save tires. But now both packs, Kurt, have caught one another. Devontae Peterson brought the second group and caught this 6-pack runaway. And Nathan Line now has cleared that 34 of Logan Joyner and now has separated himself by about 4 car lengths for the lead as they go off through turns 3 and 4. And we have 3 wide racing, Kurt, back there with Devontae Peterson.
Yeah, we always talk about clean air is king, and right now these guys that are just riddled back here just on top of each other, you see guys making switching lanes real quick as the 6 of Dakota moves from the top lane to the middle lane to go around Tyler Belanger and sucks up to Jovi Ray to try to go around Cole Martin as well. Big moves all over the place, Chad, and this track does not do a lot of favors to the tires when you're starting to move back and forth and all over the place like that. We said earlier that the bottom lane would be the dominant lane in the start of the run, and guys would start moving up to the top as the later on the run it went. But a lot of guys are using that high line already, Chad, and does that hurt the tires if you don't use the bottom line at all to start a run?
No, I honestly think the top is the way to go. When you're down there on that bottom line, your tires are kind of sliding a little bit. It's really worn out with the asphalt. I think the top lane, I don't think it saves tires, but I also don't think it hurts them as bad on the bottom. And then obviously you carry so much speed. And unlike Auto Club, which is similar, or at least it was similar to this track, it's less bumpy up on that high line, and it seems like it's not as far stretched out, meaning the corners aren't as wide, and you don't lose as much time going to that top line, and then you just carry so much momentum. It's so hard for somebody to go underneath you and pass you through these corners.
Yeah, I mean, I like the middle to top line at Michigan. I know a lot of guys like the bottom line. I like using it to make the passes, kind of doing that slide job move, diving it far down and trying to cut it up in front of them. But I prefer that middle to top line, especially the middle lane. I like the middle lane. It seems to carry momentum, plus you're shortcutting the track a little bit, but you're not really using up the tires, sliding them as much as you do when you're on the bottom and coming up the track. And then on the top line, yes, you're carrying the momentum, but I always felt like I was too close to the wall, and you had that danger of brushing the wall, making contact. And these next-gen cars, they're a little fragile when it comes to touching the wall. I know these guys in NASCAR thought these things would be, tanks, I guess, and they would be able to hold on like Xfinity cars do. But lately we've seen it, or at least, when the next gen first came out that first season, it was the slightest touch would break a toe link or, cause a wheel rub or anything like that. Obviously, we don't have the wheel rubs here in iRacing, but it's just dangerous to be up there. So I prefer that middle line, even like second to third groove in between it, kind of.
Yeah, we have a battle again, Kurt, between the 34 and 38. As Logan Joyner now looks to the underneath side of Nathan Line as they go through turns 1 and 2. I don't think he's going to be able to get it down there. He's going to have to figure out a way just to ride behind our leader and save tires for the long run and try to just let him pull him around the track, and then make your move later. But you know, Kurt, when it comes to around here, I like to be up there riding that Larson line. Now, yes, there is a point where you can't jump the cushion and get into the wall, but I feel like if you can go up there and hit your marks, it is extremely hard for somebody to pass you on the bottom through there. But Logan Joyner right now is trying to do it. Now, he's not really running the bottom. He's running that middle line for the most part and then cutting down low on exit. But he's still not able to get it done. That high side, it just got way too much momentum. But he might get help right here. Jovi Ray in that Interstate Batteries car, Kurt, goes behind and pushes that 34 car off into turn 3. As our leader gets into the wall, Kurt, there it is. He jumped the cushion. And that's going to allow Jovi Ray and the 34 Logan Joyner both get by him, and the 6 now, Dakota Ramsdale, and more others are looking underneath them now. Logan Joyner leads that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect point, like the 38 just did. He jumps the cushion. I just can't feel that cushion. Sometimes I feel like I can. Sometimes I feel like I'm hitting the same exact line every time, and I still jump it. So that's why I prefer to be a little bit lower. I did the same thing at Auto Club until I ran Auto Club for about 150 times, it seemed like, to where I could start running that top line closer and closer to the wall. It just takes for me, it takes a long time to figure out where that cushion is and where to let off, and the way the run works too. Your entry changes as the tires wear off, I feel like. So it's just definitely a lot of different things that happen throughout the race. The tires are changing, the temperatures moving around when it does. It's now up to 114. I know it was 111 in practice. We shouldn't see it come down at all, but it's a difficult track to stay on point. You really got to stay on it when you're in that cockpit driving these cars. But Logan Joyner takes over the lead, Chad. Jovi Ray did not waste any time. We see him normally start towards the back of the field, does not have a very good record when it comes to starting a race because his qualifying times are always usually pretty poorly. This time he gets a decent starting position at starting in 8th, and he worked his way up to 2nd already. So now he doesn't have to run the entire race to get up to that 2nd place finish. So maybe this is a track that Jovi Ray can get that first win at instead of waiting to the track that he has circled since day 1, Darlington, coming up next week.
Yeah, and by finally having a good qualifying effort, he's going to give himself a chance for stage points, something that he hasn't got. I don't believe yet this season.
No, because he's always working his way up through traffic.
Yeah.
What was he last
Ray,
week, plus 26 or something?
Yeah. But Jovi Ray right now in that 33 machine is looking very good. He's able to let the 34 pull him down these straightaways, and then he's letting off a little sooner, letting his car rotate better, and it's also not hurting those tires on entry because he's not having to crank the steering wheel by driving it in so deep. So Jovi Ray right now is kind of sitting pretty good right now. I also think that 3 of Nick Gowan's just sitting there waiting for this long run, and possibly that 31 machine of Cole Martin as well. Just kind of buying their time, waiting for these guys to burn their stuff up. As you see right there, the 74 Weston Jeanette drives it in super deep going into turn 3, drifts up the track a little bit. Now, Kurt, that is a perfect example of what you don't want to do if you're trying to save tires, because he had to put a ton of wheel in it, and then also it's going to cost him probably two positions right here, as he's going to be stuck down on the bottom side.
Yeah, I mean, it scrubs off so much speed by doing that, and that's why I prefer not to go down to that bottom line. But some of you guys have gotten it figured out to where you guys can run it for a couple laps, and then you start moving up a little bit, and then moving up as the run goes. I don't know. I prefer not to be down there. More power to the guys that can do it. But I don't know. I like being in that 2nd to 3rd lane, even maybe the 4th. I definitely don't like being up in that fifth lane.
Yeah, I like it. But then again, I also like Darlington, so
yeah, I'm not.
That's a track where
so.
that's a track where you got to be inches from the wall and ride that air cushion around the entire place. But Kurt, we got a little bit of a separation again between the pack, and about the front 5 now are starting to pull away. And then you got 2 cars with the 6 of Ramsdale and 21 of Mon, and then it drops back a few car lengths to the 199 of Mark Math and the rest of the pack. But Um, you know, Nathan Kurt started way in the back of the field and has already found himself up here solidly into the top 10. So making pretty good moves already. Obviously, the caution helped with a few others getting taken out, but up front, Kurt, it's still that 34 of Logan Joyner, by far his best race so far this season.
Yeah, Nathan Mon, I mean, he's up plus 19 as of right now. That's a huge leap in only a 22 lap shed. So you're talking, what, 44 miles that he's driven as of so far, and he's already moved up 19 positions, jumped all the way up into the top 10. That's a huge move. Dakota Ramsdale up 10 spots as well. Don Tiller sitting in 8th right behind Nathan Mon, up 14 positions. So a lot of guys who started towards the back are starting to migrate towards the front. Logan Joyner up 8. Jovi Ray up 6. Cole Martin up 4. So our heavy hitters are down there towards the back now, and they're not really making any headway. Even in the middle of the field from 10 through 17, those guys are all up plus 12, plus 14, plus 7. There's a lot of movement right now for a lot of different guys, and it could be that guys are running a little too hard, Chad, or guys are running, a little bit soft, and they're kind of conserving their tires, maybe conserving a little bit of fuel in the run as well. We know that stage break will be coming up soon, Chad. There's all kinds of different strategies out there, but right now this race is looking like Logan Joyner put in a lot of work to come into Michigan, and yeah, like you said, by far best run of the year so far, or best run of the season so far for the 34 of Logan Joyner in that Bud Light machine.
Yeah, but right now the guy on the move, Kurt, is that 31 of Cole Martin in the Colleague Racing Chevrolet. Went by the 3 of Gowan, and then the next lap went by the 33 of Jovi Ray. Just absolutely drove it down in the bottom, and it stuck and cleared both of them on exits of the turns, and has reeled in the leader of Logan Joyner as well. So Cole Martin, I think, has been back there saving his tires, as pit stops, Kurt, should be coming up in probably about the next 5 laps, I would think, with that caution. So Cole Martin looking pretty strong here on the late run, as he is looking like he is going to be making a move for the lead here real quickly. But he's got that 33 of Jovi Ray still hanging with him.
Yeah, that stage break is on lap 50, Shad, so we will see a green flag stop hopefully here shortly. Like you said, 28 laps was the fuel run, so guys have run 25, but we didn't have a handful of caution laps.
Just heard over race comms, Kurt, 34, Logan Joyner coming this time. Also heard a few others, so they're short pitting right now. I think they could have gone, during practice, I was getting about 28 laps, so from here...
I mean, Chad, 25 laps, it's a 50-lap stage, so they just split the stage in half.
They should be able to make it to the stage break. Obviously, this will give them a little bit of advantage with the fresher tires, but they don't have the pack. That's the only problem. So they're going to have to boogie it out of here real quick. I just heard a couple more. It sounded like the 74, one of our front runners, is coming this time as well.
I mean, there's no way that anybody could make it to the end of the stage, so they have to come in here shortly. Does it really hurt to come in early, Shad? If they can come out now and be on the back end of the pack, and then when those guys pit, they're going to be coming around as well. So if they come around on those fresh tires, they should be able to catch the pack and be at the front of the pack, kind of like you see at a Daytona, Talladega, where guys pit early and wind up coming out and being the leader. If that helps them get the stage point, Shad, I don't see a big deal with it. Logan Joyner comes out in front of the leader of Cole Martin, so he didn't go a lap down. Cole Martin, Nick Gowan, Jovi Ray, those guys have to pit. So right now, it looks like it could work out for the 34. The 21 fell in behind those guys, so 33 coming down pit road now.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I mean, with the fresher tires, obviously the 34, he's not going to go a lap down. But he's going to start to pull away farther and farther, and it's going to help him once these guys do pit. The only problem is once they do pit, obviously their tires are going to be, a handful of laps fresher. Will that make the difference when this stage, gets down to the end of it? As right now, Kurt, the 21 of Nathan Mon already looking to get unlapped as he's diving underneath the 3 of Nick Gowan, and now also our leader, he's going to pass him and unlap himself. So that just goes to show you right there the difference between fresh tires and these old tires, how much of a speed difference it is, not on the straightaways, but in these turns, how much you can make up.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the lap times too to see the difference here. And it looks like Nathan Mon just ran a 39.767, Chad. The leader, Cole Martin, ran a 40.648. So a big difference there on fresh tires, but the problem is, they don't have drafting partners once those guys behind them came in the pits. So they've got to lay down the hottest laps they possibly can. Right now, the way it should cycle out, it looks like Logan Joyner will be the leadership with Nathan Mon sitting in second.
Yeah, it just depends on, obviously what kind of pit stop they got. Entrance getting onto pit road right now. Cause we're 3 wide up here with the leaders. 33 trying to unlap himself. 3 trying to get the lead from the 31. And I do believe Nick Gowan is going to take the lead coming off of turn 2. Yeah, 31 gets a little loose. He's going to tuck in behind that 3 car, and it's now Nick Gowan out front. If I'm that 31 now, I'm coming down pit road this time. Try to jump that 3, make him, stay out another lap.
Yeah, I think the 3 was conserving tire too, Shad, so that's why he's got a little fresher tires than the 31 did. 31 looked like he might have conserved a little bit, but the 3 we got a caution out.
And that is huge, Kurt, because we only have 12 cars right now on the lead lap.
Yeah, they should all get their lap back, though. But the benefit, though, look at Logan Joyner and Jovi Ray, who just passed or unlapped himself. Both of those guys now will be the leaders.
If they don't pit, yeah, which I wouldn't, obviously. Yeah, because you just came down pit road. So, yeah, they should
cycle been out there for 5 laps.
Lead. Yeah, so they'll cycle out to the lead. Unfortunately, though, instead of having maybe a gap between them and the 3 and the 31, now they're all going to be grouped up, and you're going to have guys on fresh tires right behind you. But it looks like the top 9, I think the top 9 have not pit yet. So, Logan Joyner, Nathan Mon, Jovi Ray, they're going to have 9 hungry cars with fresh tires right behind them to finish out this stage.
Yeah, and I got to also mention Papa Bear, Shad. He's sitting 9th.
Yeah.
So he lucked out with this caution coming out to where he's going to have the fresher tires to where they may be able to get by those handful of guys that pitted there, 5 laps ago, 6 laps ago for some of them. This could be a sprint to the finish at the end of the stage. Leaders are coming down pit road now. The other guys did stay out. A handful of guys that were a lap down there, they stayed out. So.
And I believe, Kurt, this wreck right here is gonna ruin Chris Murphy's day.
I will go back and try to find that and see what happened to our good buddy in the 7. So pulling up Chris Murphy now in the 7, battling 3 wide there, 4 wide really. Between him, the 22 of Jason Blaney, the 199 of Mark Math, and the 5 trailing right behind him. We'll watch to see what happens here between them. I think the air just got sucked off his back bumper, Shad, and it just kind of turned him a little bit. He tried to save it, came down into the 5, and yeah, that's probably going to ruin the day for the 7 as he is going to be out of fast repairs, and it's probably going to be at least a 30-minute break for him on pit road. I don't know if he'll stay in the race, Chad, or if he'll sit there and get the repair done, but that's gonna be a long 30 minutes waiting to come back out on track.
Yeah, I've seen the motor blew, and then obviously he's got suspension damage and body damage as well. But yeah, that's kind of why I don't think I would have used that fast repair off the start. But hey, I'm not the one driving the car, so he felt like he needed to do that. But unfortunately for him, I think that's good. Gonna pretty much ruin his night, as I think Murphy actually he just disconnected, so that's gonna end Murphy's night.
Yeah, we've got another, we're 33 laps in, stage breaks at 50, so another 12 laps to that stage break, Shad, and there's still a handful of guys that are 1 lap down here. Ryan Horvat, Bill Sleep, David Mayo, Isaac Brock, Brian Phillips, Connor Elliott, and Devontae Peterson. Devontae Peterson and Connor Elliott are down 2 laps. So they should be able to maybe get a lap back if they stayed out at the end of the stage, Chad. I don't know if you do that with it being a 12-lap shootout and hope that another caution comes out after the stage break is over with and they get going again, and maybe a quick caution comes out and then you could come down. But it's going to be pretty hard for them if they don't get that because they're 2 laps down.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, 2 laps down, and you're not even, there's cars ahead of you that are only 1 lap down. It's gonna be difficult to get these laps back. So, um, they're gonna have to do what they can, stay out, hope for cautions, or, um, maybe cautions come out and they're not involved in the wreck, and they're the first car 2 laps down. They can get the wave around that way. But I'd love to be able to figure out who got that Alexandria custom, PC fucking lucky dog, but I don't know, Kurt. With all the wave rounds, I have no clue.
Yeah, there was a lot. I think it was Wesley Jeanette who received it. So 74 Wesley Jeanette was the first car 1 lap down, at least on my board. So I think he received the lucky dog for Alexander Customs. But Shad, there's a lot of different things that happened in that caution there, with it coming out with a lot of guys being a lap down because of the pit stops happening. And then obviously the 7 already using his fast repair. Guys who did not take pit stops were able to take their pit stops finally. But yeah, Logan Joyner back out front. Has a little older tires. Nick Gowan right on his back bumper quickly, Shad. Nathan Mon still sitting there in third. We talked about Alexandria Customs. Go to alexandriacustoms.com and see if you can choose a PC to be set up for yourself from start to finish. They provide style and performance for all types of gamers, iRacers, Call of Duty, whatever type of video game or PC game that you play. They can help you set up a PC designed specifically to run that thing at the highest quality. You can fix your safety rating and iRating with a better computer when you can see everything on track and you don't have to, edit out certain things in the settings. TrophyShopCanada.com, where you can get all your trophy needs completed for you, whether you're a league owner or outside of racing and stuff. If you do little league baseball or whatever it is, you need a trophy for something, fantasy football, whatever it is. Go to TrophyShopCanada.com. Also, theadminbox.com. Go to there and search out their website. They've got a lot of awesome created button boxes. I've looked into them myself, but now that I'm no longer really a racer, don't really see the need for it. But if you're a hardcore racer, you want to get into really being able to do stuff quickly, admin or button boxes definitely help. So head on down to adminbox.com, check out what they've got, get one of those ordered specifically for what you need. Also at Swag Designs or at Twitter. Head over to Swag Designs at Twitter and get all your swag and custom stickers, keychains, posters, and much more completed for you. Shad, we've got a lot of action up here towards the front. There's about 7 cars trailing the 34, and Nick Gowan finally trying to make the move on the outside. Going to go around the outside of the 34, coming off of turn 2, down the backstretch. The 3 goes and takes the lead right around the 34. He went, Shad. 31 of Cole Martin. Nathan Mon still battling, hanging in there on the little bit older tires than the rest of the field. Cole Martin coming around on the outside of the 34 as well. And the 9, Shad, of Austin Walton, who we haven't really talked about this season, besides the cautions that he's been involved in. He is now up towards the front, as we've seen him be last season on some really fast short runs, but did not have the strategy calls for the long runs. He's up here battling with Tyler Belander, Jovi Ray, Jason Palmer now involved in the 25 as well.
Yeah, that restart, 34, Logan Joyner got a great restart. 3, Nick Gowan a few laps ago tried to go to the outside. Unfortunately, put it in the wall coming off of turn 2. Not bad. Looked at his car. A squeeze of a caution, Kurt, wrecking on the backstretch.
And this is going to help out those guys, Chad, that we were talking about there. They're needed a quick caution. So those guys that did not go down a second time after being in that or not being involved in the caution but pitting and getting their laps back, this is a chance for them to go get it, Chad, before we go to the stage break. Do you come down and grab tires now? Or even right sides or anything? Or you just hang on to what you got?
if you're to use the set, then I probably wouldn't, because that's going to hurt you probably at the end of this race. Plus, you can maybe get the wave round if the leaders do come, which I doubt they do. But I don't know, Kurt. It's definitely going to help the 1-lap car down, guys, which will benefit the guys that are 2 laps down, because there's 4 5 guys right now a lap down, so it'll get it down to 4. Then with the stage break down to 3. So if there's cautions, maybe the guys with 2 laps, but if they stay out right here, I don't think the leaders are going to pit. They're not going to get a wave around. So, I mean, at this point, I guess maybe come down and get the tires and try to pass the leader that way, and get one of your laps back. It's going to hurt you in the long run with tires, but I think that's going to be the only way for them to get it.
Yeah, Shad, I'm looking at this caution here with the 45 of Isaac Brock and the 6 of Dakota Ramsdale, and as they come down the backstretch, the 45 either hears that he's clear or thinks that he's clear because he starts coming down on the 6 and just takes the nose off the 6. 6 turns him around, spins him down to the infield, does not hit anything. So I'm surprised the caution came out for that, Shad. Now I know why. He parked it on the infield. So unless if your car is still moving, if it's off track, they don't usually throw a caution, but if you stop on track somewhere, it will throw a caution. So I don't know if there's a rule for that or anything, but that is why the caution came out, didn't go a lap down. Probably could have came back on the track easily, but chose to stop the car.
Well, this should give the Alexandria Customs lucky dog to J. Ryan Horvath, Kurt, who started dead last tonight. He's going to find himself back on the lead lap, back in contention for this race, Kurt. This is like a super speedway. If you're on the lead lap here, you have a chance because it's so close racing, and it's just kind of like picking the right lines and saving your tires a little bit is what you have to do here. So yeah, getting back on that lead lap for Horvath is going to definitely put him back in contention. Next car a lap down is going to be that 35 of David Mayo. So we got 4 cars, Kurt, that are going to be fighting over that lucky dog, and it's going to be happening here in the next 8 laps when the stage ends.
And I see our buddy in the 7 just came across in the chat saying, "Wow, night is done." Looks like he already left the Discord. Surprised he left his teammates there. Shame on you, Chris. But yeah, he's done for the night. Gonna go spend some time with the family and watch this race from, I guess, the parking lot. But yeah, we're going to get this thing fired back up and restarted here. We're 41 laps in. We're going to have about an 8-lap shootout once we get to green again, as we're now 1 to green with 9 laps left in the stage. It's any driver's game, but I'm looking at Shad, that 9. He seems to be doing well tonight and definitely in position to get some stage points, which he desperately needs, as he's been wrecked in about almost every single wreck or every single race this season. So didn't notice that the 21 or the 34 or the 33 came down pit road that time, so they're going to hang in there and try to get as many stage points as they possibly can to get to the end of the stage here.
Yeah, I don't think any of them came down. It would hurt them. Obviously, they wouldn't get any stage points here, and then they'd be at a deficit to start the final race stage. So they're going to have to stay out there and hang on, see if they can stay in the draft at least and get onto that high side. But yeah, Kurt, that 9, Austin Walton, the only time we've ever mentioned him so far this season is getting caught up in other people's wrecks. And out there tonight, top 4 right now, trying to get some good stage points. He definitely needs them, as his season has definitely not gone the way he wants it to. But Kurt, I'm looking forward to this battle between the 3 and the 31. Who saved their tires the most is going to be key.
I think the jump is going to be key here too. 3 is going to be on the outside. He's got the jump position. He's in the restart box now. Green flag waving as Nick Gowan gets that jump shot. If he can get down in front of the 31 may try to do a slingshot move around him once they get into the corner there. But I think the 3's got a chance to win this stage, which he's done a couple times.
Yeah, Nick Gowan, obviously a great jump, able to get out in front of that 31, not be side by side. But there is side by side a few cars back there, 3 wide between the 34, 88, and the 9. Looks like the 34 and the 9 are both going to split the 88 of Tyler Belander. 3 cars off Nick Gowan, stretching it out to about 3-4 car lengths right now over that 31. And him in that 24, or 21 of Nathan Maughan team up and run him back down, Kurt, as we're going to have 7 laps to the end of the stage.
Yeah, we got 3 wide racing coming to the line there of Logan Joyner, Tyler Belanger, and the 9 of Austin Walton with Jovi Ray, and the 25 of Jason Palmer just kind of sitting back here watching to see what happens. 88 shoots out from that 3-wide racing, and now the 3-wide racing is between the 25, 34, and 9, as the 33 is going to try to shove the 9 past the 34. He clears the 34. Now the 33 is in line to move. Will the 25 move up and push the 33? Does not look so. It looks like he's going to stay on the bottom to try to push that 34. 34 is cleared. Will he slide up in front of Jovi Ray? Does clear him out of there. Jovi Ray looks like he didn't really let off. No lifting there. But Shad, 23 of Jose Ruiz is moving back into the top 10 now, fighting on the outside of the 25, being involved in that first lap wreck. Shad might get some stage points here.
I mean, he's in contention for it, obviously. 22 of Blaney, though, coming up behind him, though. He's trying to get up in there and try to turn around his season. But up front, Kurt, Nick Gowan still by about 2 car lengths right now over that 31 of Cole Martin. And then Cole Martin's got the 21 and the 88 all over his back bumper. 9 of Austin Walton still hanging on, though. 34 of Joyner, I think, starting to feel those older tires. But the good thing is the guy right behind him is also on older tires. So those two can kind of stay together and make it harder. But Tyler Belanger, Kurt, looking underneath that 21 of Mon for 3rd place, trying to get all the points he can, as we're going to have 5 to go, Kurt, when they cross the line.
Yeah, and Tyler shot out of that 3-wide racing, like I said, like a cannon. He just flew up to this group and tried to make a move there. Didn't get the pass completed, but now look at the 21 diving underneath 31 and trying to get to the 3's back bumper. Now 88 going to try to follow him through. What will the 9 and the 34 do back here? We got 3-wide racing again as the 23, 33, and 25 are 3-wide.
Yeah, this is what Gowan wants to see. He wants to see those guys behind him side by side, because these next-gen cars, if no one's ran them, they punch such a huge hole in the air that if you're side by side, it is slowing both cars down. And the guy in front of you, even though one of you might be drafting off of him, with the side drafting going on, it slows them down so much that the guy in front of you is still going to pull away. But they finally figured it out, single filed it, and reeled him right back in. That 31 now, Kurt, all over the bumper of our leader, Nick Gowan, as we're going to have 3 to go for the stage this time by.
And Nick Gowan looking for, I think, 2 weeks in a row, getting the stage win there. Or did Cole Martin win it last week? But it's crazy to see these guys shooting. It's like all of a sudden they just get shot out of a cannon, and you just see this huge run coming out of the corners. Watch the 88 now. He's going to come up on the back bumper of the 3 and try to push him back past the 31, as the 31 almost got cleared and it got stuck on the bottom. Now the 88 blows the doors off the 31 and goes right to 2nd place, shoving that 3 right past the 31, going into 3 and 4, coming to 2 to go in the stage, Chad. 88 now in 2nd with Nick Gowan in the front. Will one of these two help each other? Will the 88 and 31 try to get together and push each other past the 3? 3's loving what he's seeing, though. Everybody's siding to push him.
Yeah, the problem is if you're going to go low, you better clear him coming off of turn 2. Belanger trying to clear him, does not clear him. Oh, but Gowan gets on the wall. This should give the 31 a great run, but with these two side by side, we're going to see 3 wide, Kurt, going off into turn 3. Who wants this stage?
31, a big dive into the corner, comes way back up the track. He's going to lose a ton of speed doing that. 3 and 88 and 21 should have a big run coming down the front stretch. Lap 49 coming to completion there. We've got one more lap to the stage break. Who's going to take this stage, Chad? It's so, look at them swapping back and forth. Now the 3 comes back around and goes back to the lead, and they're back to where they were earlier. 31 now diving back underneath. He's going to try to come up the track.
Caution
and Chad,
out,
caution's
Kurt.
out.
Caution is out. Who is the leader? I believe the 31 is out front at the time of the caution. The admins are going to have to take a look at that, but 31 of Cole Martin pulls the slide job on a 3. This is like watching dirt racing. 31 pulling slide jobs, but then loses the exit speed. But I believe, Kurt, right there at the time of caution, that 31 was out front. I don't know if we go back to timing lines or what.
I don't know. It was close. But let's take a look and see what brought out that caution, which will be our stage break caution. So we'll take a look back here between the 199 and the 74 of Wesley Jeanette. As these guys came through, 199 Mark Math on the bottom. 3 wide comes up and tags the door of the 74, shoving him into the 53 of Bill Hills. Bill Hills, an innocent bystander there. 199 getting turned around and stuck to the front bumper of the 53. Some heavy damage to the 199. Not a lot of damage to the 53 shed. It might be a little cosmetic damage to the front, but not too terrible for him, even though he was shoving that 199 as he was sideways. But that's just hardcore racing, 3 wide racing with 1 lap to go in the stage.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3 wide. 199's trying to come up so he can get that arc into the turn 1. And, I don't know, it's kind of like the 74 is kind of coming down, and the 199's coming up at the same time. So, another one of those deals, like, guys are funneled together for these turns. They spread out, once they get into the turns, but everyone wants to try to get as much of an arc going into them as they can, but unfortunately, right there, all 3 cars touch, and the 199, I believe, gets the worst of that.
Yeah, and I'm looking, Chad. I know we just ran a track that the 88 and the 3 had an issue at, or it might have been in AER, but I know they had a run in there where the 33 got put into the wall, and did not appreciate that from the 88. So I gotta remind myself here of where that was at. I thought it was at Pocono, but I don't see that we've run Pocono, so that might have been an AER that I remember seeing it. But those 2 did have a run-in in that race where the 88 was going for his first win and kind of slid up and pushed the 3 right into the wall. 3 was not happy about it, so we'll see if that's any kind of repercussions, because as a driver, you guys don't forget anything that happens on a track, whether it's in this league, another league, or 5 seasons ago. It does not go away from your mind when you get near that same guy.
Yeah, and up front, the 88 of Tyler Belanger chooses not to pit, so everyone behind him is going to be on fresh tires. He's going to be a sitting duck up there. Going to have to try to hang on as much as he can until he has to pit, and then when he pits, I think he's going to be all by himself then, too.
That's an odd strategy.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, what Larry McReynolds say? If you follow the leader, you're going to be behind the leader. So
well, let's go get the winner of the stage. I believe it's Cole Martin, so let's find him and bring him up here before we get back to racing. Oh, and Tyler Belanger comes down pit road finally.
I just wanted to lead a lap.
Yeah, it looks like the leaders are actually all coming down again. It's an odd one.
Well, some of them are coming back down. Maybe it's to be able to make it to the end of the race, top him back off.
I'm going to grab Cole Martin. We'll bring him up here. Cole, you got a copy of the Swats and Cadillac in the booth.
Yeah, I got y'all.
Congratulations on what we assume is your stage win. Based on just what we saw, I don't know if they're going to go back and look at any sort of timing or anything like that, but from what we looked at, it looked like you won the stage. So congratulations on that. Your 31 Colic machine looks really fast tonight. You made some moves there. You made a huge dive underneath the 3 right before that caution came out, so that definitely saved you from getting that stage wins, or for getting that stage win. What is the strategy there for? It looked like most of the leaders just came back down a second time. Is that just for you guys to try to make it to the end of this race, or to make it a one stop?
Yeah, it's gonna be close. It's just safe to just come in for extra hit, cause the draft's pretty good here. So yeah, just to make it on fuel. That's about it. Just make it closer.
Well, it looks like you guys are about to go green, but I don't know, Cole, if you're driving a next-gen car or a dirt late model with those slide jobs, but it's looking great out there, obviously entertaining, but good luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll be talking to you here soon.
Hopefully. Thank y'all.
All right, Cole, you were in what group?
WMS. WMS.
All right, I'll send you back down there. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Chad, so that was our stage break winner, and yeah, I kind of get what he's saying. It is close, looking at the fuel range and everything that we've got going on with the laps we've got left, where they could do it on one stop. So if they can sit back here in the group and not have a caution brought out or anything like that, and conserve a little bit of fuel, they should be good to go on one more stop. I just don't know if it benefits them to the most because we've seen the cautions coming out from all angles of the track, front to back. You know, it's a risk, but you know they've been fast too, so maybe they can get right back up here to the front.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math. We went green with 53 to go. If they can get, say, 29, you know, a fuel run, which I think they can maybe do in the draft. Yeah, 29 would put them at 72, and then they would still have about 28 laps to go. So
it's close.
It's close.
But, yeah, back up to the front, Shad. Look who had to do a pass-through to start this race, and I said it would be hard for him to get back to the front if he could stay on the lead lap with doing that pace lap or pass-through penalty. Ryan Crooks has made his way to the front here at Michigan, trying to go for 2 in a row. 34 of Logan Joyner in second there. LaJovi Ray sitting in third. John Tiller now in fourth. Jason Palmer fifth. Ryan Horvath up in sixth, Shad. Austin Walton in seventh. Mark Math, after that wreck there, is now scored eighth. Brandon Watkins ninth, and John Dispaquali is sitting in 10th.
Yeah, Logan Joyner didn't like that too much as he flew in front of that 2, sent it off into turn 3, and retook the lead. Now the 2's going to fight back on exit. Looks like he's going to tuck in behind that 34, so Logan Joyner back to the point of this race as we're halfway, Kurt, to the end of this 110-lap race.
Yeah, halfway is a big thing to get to. But, I mean, we still got a ton of laps, Shad, so there's going to be a lot of racing left, a lot of moves get to be made. Strategy calls, everything like that is going to be still made throughout this race, and it's not going to come down to the end to figure this out because there are so many fast guys and guys moving from front to back to back to front. It does not matter where you're at some point. You could be, you know, in a complete reverse of where you're at running fourth. So I don't know who's going to win this thing, but there are guys flying all over the place, making dives from top to bottom, back up to the top. Look at Austin Walton going all the way down on the road line, trying to come back up. We've got 3 wide racing in some spots, 2 wide racing. Nobody's really separated themselves already.
Yeah, the 34 and the 2 just keep swapping the lead at ends of the track. 2 will take the lead as they come down the front stretch and through turns 1 and 2. 34 then will get the run on the high side through 1 and 2, and then past the 2 as they enter turn 3. So those 2 just been flip-flopping the lead, but now the 2 looks like he's able to finally hang on to it enough to where that 34 was not able to get the run coming off of turn 2. So we're single file for the first 2. After that, Kurt, it's 2 by 2 for about 6 rows. These guys are going to want to get single filed out. As we've seen the side drafting and staying side by side, it slows you down. So if they want to stay in touch with the leaders, if the leaders continue to fight, then obviously it does not matter. But currently, Kurt, right now, it's looking like a heck of a show. Michigan always puts on a great race. And I'm still waiting to see where Nick Gowan and the 31 machine of Cole Martin are. I do not see them up in the top. Yeah, so they're paired up together with Jose Ruiz behind them. So looks like Cole is right now being the dummy for Nick Gowan, as Nick Gowan just tucked in behind him, saving that fuel drafting off him.
Yeah, and I mean, that's smart for Nick Gowan. He knows it's close. He knows he needs about a half lap to a lap extra to really be okay to really kind of run it. And he's tucked in, trying to conserve a little bit of fuel if he can. But the rest of these guys are going full tilt, Chad, and if they can't make it on one stop, when we see a 2-stopper here, this is going to get even more interesting. Michigan always puts on a great show, like you said, Auto Club. That's why I love these 2 tracks. It's similar racing styles. It's 4 or 5 wide in some areas. You can even get 6 wide if you used up all of the apron as well if you really needed to. But I mean, you can go from top to bottom, back up to the top, back to the bottom. You can switch all over the place. The seams come into it. The bumps come into it. It's 2 of my favorite tracks to watch on TV because I just feel like these 2 tracks provide so much good racing that, yes, the side draft comes into play, the draft comes into play, strategy comes into play, the movement, the skill, the knowledge of making moves, the conserving, all of that comes into play at these 2 tracks that are very similar.
Yeah, for sure. I love Michigan and I love Auto Club. I hate that they are changing Auto Club into some
Demolishing it into a
weird,
short track.
yeah, some weird track with high banking. But you know, I loved going down the backstretch of Auto Club, and it's like going through a whoop section because of how much character and bumps it has on it, and obviously the old asphalt wearing out the tires. It just makes you have to be conservative and save those tires to be good at the end. But up front, Kurt, the 25 of Jason Palmer and that Miller Lite Rusty Wallace or Kurt Busch throwback takes the lead away from Ryan Crooks, and also brings the 34 of Logan Joyner with them as they both teamed up and went to the low side around Ryan Crooks. That puts Jason Palmer out front leading that last lap. But look at the 12, Kurt, of John Tiller marching away through the bottom there. Goes past Jovi Ray, now to the inside of that 2 of Ryan Crooks. But that outside with all those drafting partners, it's going to hurt him. But now he's going to pick up a teammate. Ryan Blaney.
I don't think that was a pickup. That was a shot.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney, his teammate, gave him a heck of a shot going off into turn 3. I don't think it's going to help him. See if his teammate gives him any help. Yeah, his teammate's going to help him down the front straightaway too. See if those two can work together and get
it's
to
like
the front.
tandem drafting is what I see a lot of the time, Chad, to make big moves. You don't see 1 or 2 cars or 3 cars. You just see 2 really predominantly pushing each other hard down those straightaways to give those shots to go into the corners. And that's where the big moves come from. There are slide jobs and things like that, but I always feel like you have to have a buddy out here. It's the buddy system. You got to have somebody pushing. Look at the 2 now shoving the 34 down the backstretch. Look at the giant run into the corner he's going to get on the 25.
Yeah, but what I am starting to see, Kurt, is I see 3 fueled up Motorsports now in line. So maybe those 3 cars can get together and start making moves on the bottom, because that's what it's going to take to get around people on that high side. Is you need that drafting help. Everyone right now is pretty much riding that high line. So to make a pass, you got to have help behind you pushing you.
You know, as we watch this race, as I always say, if you guys have favorites out there, please let us know in the chat, and we'll try to look at them and see where they're at in the race and things like that. But right now, Shad, it's the Jason Palmer show out front with the 34, trying to get to him, using the 2 as a pusher. He's gotten close. He just can't get back to him like the 25 did, where he got shot out of a can, went right around him. But, Shad, we've got Dakota Ramsdale now sneaking up into the top 5. The 6 of the white Monster Energy has now crept up in front of Jovi Ray. We normally see the 6 in the middle of the pack towards the back, or being involved in an incident. And again, like we talked about with the 9, these guys are making big moves at Michigan and trying to help themselves in the points and trying to get those stage points and trying to get the end result at the end of the night, maybe get a win for themselves as well. John Tiller's another one. He seems to always be wound up in an incident, not his own doing. He always gets caught up in somebody else's mess, but he's on the march up to the front, using his teammates back there. The 22 of Jason Blaney, who we said needed a good run tonight, Chad. He's your highlight driver as needing a good run tonight, and right now he's sitting in the top 10.
Yeah, top 10, 3 teammates all in a row, so maybe they can come up with something to get themselves to the front. But I just heard a car, sounded like a motor blew. I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what it was either.
It sounds like a clunk.
Yeah. But yeah, the 25, Jason Palmer, haven't really got to talk about him much this season as well, but out here so far with his best run of the season, trying to get a win here. And now with the 2 and the 34 kind of being side by side, he's separating himself from them with that side draft. So Jovi Ray can look like he's going to go down to the bottom with that 2 car maybe and help him get around that 34 Logan Joyner. Logan Joyner, we mentioned it earlier, Kurt, strongest run of the season so far, and he has consistently been up in the top 5 all night long. So Logan Joyner trying to get his first win of the season, and I think it'd be his first win of Velocity. So Logan Joyner putting in his name in the hat of a winner possibly.
Yeah, Logan Joyner, Jovi Ray, Cole Martin, Nate Mon, Nate Line, a bunch of those guys I watch over the SRN series when I was broadcasting over there on Thursday nights. These guys are usually towards the front in that series. So to see Logan struggle a little bit in these next-gen cars, I don't know how much time he's got in the next-gen car, so it might have taken him a handful of races, and now we're in race number 7, and here he is showing up at Michigan and running his best race, like you said. But Jovi obviously hit the ground running. He's got, I don't know how many second places and a third-place finish. Nate Mon's got a win. I don't know how many second and third places finishes as well. Nate Line was up front here in the 38, Chad, but he has fallen towards the back. He is now sitting back in 23rd. So just guys that are starting to pick up these next gens that don't really run them that much.
Yeah, Logan Joyner right there, able to get around the 25 with Jason Palmer, went low through turns 1 and 2, ended up side by side down the backstretch, and side drafted that 25 really well, slowed him up, and then they both entered the turn. You know, Joyner was only a lane lower than Palmer, and it allowed him to keep up his momentum, not just through the turn, but on exit. And he was eventually able to get around that 25 with Jason Palmer. But Palmer's trying to fight back now, 1 lane lower, trying to get fresh air to that nose to help his car turn and not get tight. But it's a 4-car breakaway, Kurt, right now, because everyone behind Jovi Ray is still side by side. So these 4 up front, Kurt, pulling away, being single file.
Yeah, and I keep looking, Shad, to see when I'm going to see that 31 and 3, and they're still back here a little bit. They're in the 9th and 10th now, so they've cracked the top 10. But this is when I expected them to start making a move with the 21 as well. All 3 of them now in the top 10 trying to make their moves. 21 dives underneath the 22 and takes over that position. 31 going to squeeze in between the 12 and 22 to take it 3 wide through 3 and 4 to try to take his position into the top 8 as well. Nick Gowan kind of sitting back here watching going, you guys are nuts right now. We're 3 wide and then almost 4 wide as now the 74 Wesley Jeanette goes 4 wide across the start-finish line, Chad, with 2 of his teammates and Cole Martin.
Yeah, it looked like the 22 of Blaney was really slow coming out of turn 2. It allowed quite a few cars to get a run on him, but unfortunately for the Cole Martin, just not having any help. He was faster, but no drafting help means you're going to get left behind on these straightaways. And he's going to have to settle back in, which he does right behind Nick Gowan, see if they can work their way around that 22 as those fueled-up motorsports cars, Kurt, beginning to fall off, it looks like. So I think they might have wore their stuff up.
I've seen this before.
Yeah. So 39 laps to go, Kurt. These cars got to go at least 9 to 10 more laps if they want to make it on one stop. We know the 31 came down an extra. Yeah, they came down an extra time to top off and try to make it on one stop. If they can make it to 29 laps to go, Kurt, I think they have a shot, obviously, to go to the end. But still got at least 9 laps to be able to figure out if they can or not.
Yeah, Nate Mon, Nick Gowan, they're marching. They're closing in the gap on the 2 and 25. 2 and 25 make contact, though, on the front stretch. No incidents there. And one of the things I was laughing about there, Chad, was I watched the 3 give a giant shove to the 21. And I'm noticing the harder and harder impacts when these guys are pushing each other. We saw the big bump that came from the Fueled Up Motorsports earlier. I'm just surprised they're able to hit that hard on these back bumpers like that. I know that NASCAR had said that there was kind of a cushion between the panel on the back of the bumper to allow them to push like that, or at least Clint Boyer talked about it in one of the races where, you know, they added a little bit of foam or something between the bumper and the frame to where they could hit each other a little harder to shove each other and push.
Oh.
Ooh, 3 wide racing with a 25-2 and 21. That was close. 2 got a little wobbly. 3 going to take advantage and move up to the next line, sitting in now in 5th.
Yeah, and look at the difference, Kurt. The 3 of Nick Gowan able to clear himself out of all the traffic. The 31 who was right behind him was not able to clear, got stuck on the bottom, and now finds himself outside of the top 10, while Nathan Mon and Gowan are both sitting here in the top 5. So that just goes to show how important it is that if you're going to make a pass on that low line, you better make it stick and clear and get back up to that top, because if not, you're just going to get shuffled to the back, as we see now, Kurt, that 21 and 3 underneath the 25. Does the 21 stay with the 3 down there, give him a draft to get around the 25, or does he come back up? It looks like he comes back up, so now Gowan going to be stuck on that bottom with the 2 of Ryan Crooks behind him. He's going to have to quickly get back up there.
He's going to clear the 25.
Actually, yeah, he makes it stick down there on the yellow line through turns 1 and 2 and actually clears the 25 on exit. So Good move there by Nick Gowan to get by that 25 Miller Lite machine of Jason Palmer. Ooh, close contact though, almost between that 21 and 34 entering turn 3, Kurt. Don't know if you've seen that, but that was inches from turning that 34 car around.
Yeah, and I noticed earlier too, the 3, when he just pushed the 21 past the 2 there, he gave him 3 shots. It was bump, bump, bump as they went into turn 3, and it just shot the 21 out closer to be able to make that pass on the 2. And then, yeah, the next turn, the 3 tried it, got stuck a little low, and then came up and went past him finally. But these two are tag teaming. Everybody is on their march to the front here, and Jovi Ray has taken the lead from Logan Joyner. Shad, Jovi Ray, not a perennial lead lap or lead car. He's always usually right in second, third, fourth, trailing these guys, and he's riding right now in the front. First lap's led for him tonight. Is this the night that we finally see Jovi Ray in that top spot and getting that win, or are these guys going to come through? He's on the same schedule as the other guys who did not pit the extra lap to get that extra fuel. I don't know how much fuel he's been saving, but I know the 3 and the 21 and the 31 were saving back there, so they should be good to go for the rest of the race on the one stop here that should be coming up in the next 5 laps for everybody.
Yeah, that's going to be the key for Jovi Ray. If Gowan and Mon can make it, that 1 or 2 extra laps and put themselves to a one-stopper, it's going to eliminate Jovi Ray and the rest of these guys from contention of winning, unless there is a late caution. But Jovi Ray out front, looking like a strong car, been up in the top 5 for most of the night. This could be the night that he's not the maid of honor, but it's going to come down to fuel. If these other cars, Kurt, can make it to lap 29 to go, I don't see it, these rest of these guys being able to make it work unless there's a caution.
I mean, Jovi Ray can still contend for third because the rest of the guys are going to have to pit besides Cole Martin, maybe. I don't know how much he's been using back there. I don't know if he's a perennial saver, conservative driver. Not normally, so I'm not sure how much he's conserving back there in the pack right now, sitting in 7th behind Dakota Ramsdale. He has not worked his way through the traffic as easily as the 21 and 3 did, tag teaming everybody. But 21 and 3 ran the leaders down, and they've kind of stalled right there behind the 34 of Logan Joyner.
Yeah, as Joyner touches the wall, Kurt, coming out of turn 2, that's gonna. Oh, look at the run that Ryan Crooks gets on all these guys and just splits them. Goes in between the 3 and 34, then dives underneath the 21 as they go off into turn 3. But is he going to clear him? That's the question. And it does not look like he is, and that's going to mess up that position for him as the 3 is going to tuck him behind that 21. Oh, no, the 2. He slides in there. 3 of Gowan ducks underneath him now, though.
Oof, that was a big move by the 2 coming through there. But 3 and 21 tag team him again and go right back by him. But that moves Ryan at least into the top 4. Logan Joyner goes all the way back to 5th. Nate Mon and Nick Gowan now have their sights set on Jovi Ray. We've seen these 3 finish 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I think, twice throughout the season now. So these 3 know each other very well. I don't know who's going to come away with a Shad, but we're closing in now on that lap count that you were talking about.
Pitting this time, the 2 pitting this time. They cannot make it.
I don't know if Jovi can make it another lap, though. That's going to be close for him to make it. That would put him right at the 29 mark as we're 30 to go now. And we'll see if Nate Mon and Nick Gowan and Cole Martin decide to pit on 29 to go, or if they go to 28, if they conserved enough to get to 28, which would put them in the perfect sequence to be able to make it to the end without having to watch their fuel at all.
Yeah, the 3 Kurt, Nick Gowan has really backed off the pace. He has fallen way off of the 21 of Nathan Mon. 33 of Jovi Ray coming this time. 21 of Mon Kurt coming this time as well. Nick Gowan stays out another lap. 31 of Cole Martin also coming this time.
So Nick going to be left out there by himself. But Shad, he goes an extra lap, so he knows for sure that once he comes down, he can make it to the end without having to conserve at all. These guys that are coming down this lap might have to conserve just a little bit to be safe.
Yeah, and don't look too far behind that 3 car. You'll see that McDonald's 23 machine.
Yeah, I don't know how he's done it.
of Jose Ruiz. He's right there with him, so he's been conserving fuel.
And he's not known for conserving, so, or at least in the next gen for here. So maybe he has figured it out. I don't know. And he's going to go another lap.
Yeah,
And
both
so
of
is
them
Gowan.
actually going to go another lap. The pace is way off, though. Looking at the speed of Jose Ruiz, he's only doing probably half throttle down this front straightaway. Only gets up to about 191 miles an hour. So he's going to have to make sure he can make it. If they can make it to pit road, they should be good for the final run. I just heard now over race column 3, Kurt coming this time, and the 23 coming this time.
I think the 88 also of Tyler Belanger, who's not far off this front two as well. He's gone an extra 2 laps compared to everybody else as well.
Yeah, so those 3 cars I think are guaranteed to make it to the end. The rest of these guys, it's going to be tight whether or not they can make it. Most of them pit with about 29 to go, as you know, Gowan and Ruiz and Belanger are all pitting with 27 to go.
And Nate Monshad is probably going to wind up coming out as the leader as he's coming into turn 3 now. The rest of the guys have hit their pit stalls now. I don't think they're going to make it out of the pit road before Nate Mon makes the pass, but they're going to be on fresher tires by about 4 laps. And then also they don't have to conserve. Nate Mon, we know he went an extra lap. He didn't go the extra laps that the 3 and the 20 or the 88 and the 23 went, but he might have just lucked out on this one. We don't think Logan Joyner and Ryan Crooks can make it to the end. Jovi Ray will be close, but he should be okay as well.
Yeah, I'm currently riding on board in the cockpit with that 21 machine of Nathan Mon, not going full throttle. At least through the turns, he's not, but he is downshifting to 4th gear, which is strange. Maybe he is good to go to the end. I certainly wouldn't be downshifting if I wasn't. So, but yeah, getting up to about 192, 193 miles an hour. So I don't believe Nathan Mon is saving Kurt. So if he can make it to the end, he's in great position right now.
And Shad, Jovi Ray actually came out behind Ryan Crooks as well. We know he's close on fuel, but he's riding right behind Ryan Crooks right now. If he can conserve even a half a lap, Shad, that could benefit him massively if the rest of the guys in front of him cannot make it. Nathan Mon backing off the pace so much that now Logan Joyner takes the lead, but we don't think Logan Joyner can make it to the end, Shad.
Logan Joyner and the 2 of Ryan Crooks both pit at the same time. Jovi Ray and the 21 of Nathan Mon both pit a lap later. So if Mon's already kind of backing off, which we've seen right there as the 34 just went screaming around him, that 34 obviously knows he cannot make it. If I'm that 21, I let these 2 go, and then I get behind them and get in that draft. That's pretty much the biggest way to save here at Michigan is in the draft. It's not so much letting off through the turns because, you know, you let off through the turns as it is. It's getting in that draft and going like 3/4 throttle down these long straightaways. That's where you can save, you know, the fuel at.
Yeah, and Nate Mon loses that group, the 33 and the 2, Shad. So he's going to back it off completely, almost probably going to fall into the grasp of Nick Gowan and Wesley Jeanette, which is going to help Nick be able to get up here as well. We know he can make it for sure. Jovi still riding behind the 2, not trying to make a pass on the 2. I think that's smart for him because I think he knows Ryan Crooks and Logan Joyner cannot make it to the end. So all he needs to do is stay up here with these guys, keep the gap that he's got on Nick Gowan away from him, and just conserve and conserve and conserve, but maintain your pace. You cannot back it off like the 21's doing. The 21 may be backing off thinking, I could still get a top 3 finish out of this if the 2 out there and the 34 run out of fuel. And Chad, if you are going to run out of fuel, do you split this? Or do you hope that a caution comes out before the race is over? You'd hate to run out of fuel out of, you know, turn 2 and have to coast around this thing to finish it.
Yeah, I think the only way you give yourself a shot is running long and praying for a caution.
Logan's shutting his car off.
Yeah, because at that point, if you run long and the caution comes out, everyone's going to come down and put tires on it. So if you split it in half, yeah, you'll have fresher tires, but you're not going to run someone down. I don't think, Nick Gowan shouldn't have to save it all. So I don't believe splitting it. You're just gonna have to ride it and pray for a caution at this point. But Kurt, the big surprise I'm looking at is Nick Gowan, Jose Ruiz pitted at the same time. Nick Gowan's up to fourth. Jose's not even in the top 10 right now.
Same
And
with
Nick
Tyler
Gowan
Beeler.
is
He's back in 17th.
Nick Gowan is flying right now.
He
Joey
knows
Ray
he's good.
in this too. Their pace isn't that fast. It's faster, obviously, than the 21s, but that 3 smells blood in the water right now, as he knows he's got the fuel to get to the end, and these cars in front of him do not. At least not right now.
Joey,
close. He's going to be close being in that draft, but look at that 3-car, Kurt, come through the middle of the turn. Joey Ray realizes, I got to go, and he goes to the outside of that 2 as well. Now he's going to tuck in behind that 3, try to save fuel off of him.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be able to save very much fuel behind the 3 because the 3 is not doing anything to conserve. He is going. Logan Joyner is shutting his car off, Shad, so Nick is going to reel him in quickly. But unless a caution comes out, I don't see this going away from either Nick Gowan or... That's about it, because the rest of the field, it should be good in some cases, but I don't see the guys who are in the top 10 right now being able to make it besides Nick Gowan and Jovi Ray being close. And Nate Mon being close, but Nate has slipped all the way to 13th, Chad.
Yeah, Cole Martin might be another one of those that could make it. I think he pit the same time as Jovi Ray, so if he's been riding around in the draft, using that to save fuel, he could possibly make it. I'm watching Jovi Ray. I'm on board with him. He is definitely not saving now that he's behind that 3 of Nick Gowan. So Jovi Ray, I think, might have had to have saved a lap, if my calculations are correct. So he might have been able to save enough already through those first 10 laps or so of this run. And they have quickly ran down that 34 Logan Joyner. Logan Joyner's going to need a caution.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a strategy. You got to hope and pray that a caution comes out. Oh, when he gets into the wall, Shad, that's not going to benefit him at all. He's going to lose 2 positions right there. He might lose the 3rd to Wesley Jeanette. Wesley Jeanette, Shad, pitted 11 laps ago. Logan Joyner pitted 12 laps ago. Nick Gowan pit 10 laps ago. And actually, Wesley Jeanette pit 12 laps ago, and so did Jovi Ray. Logan pit 13 laps ago. So there's a lap or 2 difference between the top guys right now, but Nick Gowan has set sail and said, I am not conserving. I don't need to. I've run my pace, and I am going for this thing.
Yeah, now I'm currently on board with our 5th place runner. That's that 31 of Cole Martin, and he's not saving at all either. He's going for this. As I look up front through his windshield, Jovi Ray side by side with the leader, Nick Gowan. Jovi Ray must have enough now because he is not holding anything back.
Yeah, I think at this point he said, I've made my bed. So he's going for it. I mean, Jovi does not have a win of the season. He's finished second at least 3 or 4 times. He's finished behind the 3 multiple times. You know he wants this win. Next week is Darlington, which is a track he has had circled since the beginning of the season when he joined. If he could get a win prior to Darlington and then come out next week and get a second win, Shad, that could definitely help him in the points. He's currently sitting in the top 5 in points already, so this could definitely help him if he can get a win tonight. But even a second place finish won't be bad for his point standings. But Nick Gowan will continue to pull away from the field in the points.
Yeah, Jovi Ray, I think he's tired of finishing second. He's going for this win, and I can't blame him. If I have the fuel, I'd be going for it too. You don't need fuel for the burnout, just enough to make it to that checkered finish line. And Jovi Ray apparently must have enough, as him and Nick Gowan now have been side by side for the past 2 laps, Kurt. And really, the guys behind those 2 haven't really reeled them in.
No, and Jovi's sitting 33 points back from Nick in the points lead. So Jovi's sitting second in the points right now because he's finished in second so many times that he's gathered enough points to close the gap a little bit. But he needs a win this season to get a couple points. It doesn't help that Nick Gowan continuously is finishing the top 3 as well and has the win. So you know Jovi's going to push himself to do this. I don't know if he'll push and bump maybe Nick if he can get to him to take the lead, but that's kind of the only thing he can do. The next time he gets to him, Shad, he's got to give him a shove and push him somewhere so that he can go around him and get that clean air, because riding behind him doesn't do a whole lot. Like you've always said, Larry McReynolds always says, riding behind the leader, you'll follow the leader the rest of the race. So he's got to push him and get him off of his line, or give him a bump, or touch him, something to get him off of his line to go around him and get that first win of the season.
I don't know. If I'm the crew chief of Jovi Ray right now, I'm saying, hey, you stay right on that bumper for the next 13 laps. Going into turn 3, give him a shove, send him up, and pull on around him. Don't show your hand too early, especially if fuel is tight. The longer you stay behind that 3 car, the better you're going to be on fuel. And then maybe, you know, Nick Allen, you can force him into a mistake.
I mean, Nick drives the 3 for a reason. He don't make too many mistakes. So I don't know. Logan Joyner, though, staying out here, though, I don't think he's been conserving. I know he's been shutting off the car and when he was the leader, but if he's still conserving, Shad, it would be surprising. But Cole Martin now moving up into the 4th position, Shad. If Logan runs out of fuel, he could get the 3rd position. Ryan Crook's still sitting back here in 5th. We know he's going to be close on fuel if he can even make it. 74 will be close, but has an extra lap of fuel than the 2 does. He's sitting back here in 6th. Jason Blaney finally cracking the top 8, Shad. We've been talking about the 22 all night on having a good run. 2 fueled up Motorsport guys, Shad, on a long run. We're 17 laps, 18 laps into the run now, and they're still hanging in here in the top 8. Dakota Ramsdale, a really good run for him. John Tiller, a really good run for him as well, also in the top 10. Brandon Watkins, after his massive penalty of a 15-point penalty and an EOL, Shad, is actually in the top 10 as well, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, a good bounce back. Obviously, last week he showed speed at Rockingham, but then just was pretty much a pinball machine out there. And it cost him not only for this week, but the points penalty as well. But back up front, Kurt, Jovi Ray's starting to lose touch with our leader, Nick Gowan, right now. I'm not sure if those couple laps of fresher tires that Nick Gowan has are finally starting to show up. But Jovi Ray's still trying to hang on to at least that 2nd position. And there is no fuel saving right now with Jovi Ray.
No, we've got 11 laps to go, coming to 10 to go as they go down the backstretch. Jovi has slipped off of the 3 by about 2 to 3 tenths, Chad. He closes in a little bit and then loses a little bit, closes in a little bit, loses a little bit. He's diving deeper into the corner now, trying to get the draft off the 3. He's got a little bit of it, but it's just not helping him. 34 was closing in as well and has now slipped back again. He hit the wall. Now 31 goes underneath and takes that position from the 34, moving Cole Martin into 3rd place, Chad. Wesley Jeanette, Ryan Crooks, and Jason Blaney closing in on the 34 as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle for that 34 Logan Joyner to make it to the end, as well with that 2 of Ryan Crooks. Both of them, I don't see them stretching it that far, but you never know with the draft and how they are with the throttle. Maybe they've saving enough, but 10 to go, Kurt. 9 when we get to the line right now. Jovi Ray has caught Gowan back again. I think if I'm Jovi Ray right here, I think I'm gonna let him pull me down the straightaways, and then I'm gonna go to wherever he isn't in the turns. If he goes to the bottom, I'm going top, and vice versa. And then we know with that top line, you get a great run, and if he's pulling you down these straightaways, that should be even better. So, but right now it's still the 3 and then the 33 out front, as they have pulled to about 1.7 seconds over our 3rd place runner, Cole Martin.
Yeah, I just feel like if Jovi does give him the bump and moves him up the track, that'll give him a gap. The 3 should slip back to Cole Martin, which will put them side by side battling.
Oh, 3 touches the wall coming out of 4.
33 trying to get to him, goes back and forth.
Jovi tried to get to that high side. We know the high side's really good. Jovi's going to have to send it in here and slide job him.
Oh, he didn't send it.
And he doesn't, but
3 trying
he
to
runs
pinch him
up
down.
the track. Almost contact right there between those 2. That's going to hurt the 3 on the exit. Yeah, now they're going to be side by side going down the backstretch. Jovi needs to send this thing in there.
Come on, Jovi, send it. I just want to root for him here. I want to get him out of that 2nd place finishes. but Nick is just as challenging to pass this dude. He's pinching him, he's keeping him down, he's staying right on his door. That side draft is locking them both up, and Cole Martin is stuck back there with Logan Joyner. I don't think this is going to pull Cole Martin in, Chad, but that was 33's best chance when the 3 got into the wall there to go around him, and he tried every which way possible. It looked like Bubba Wallace out there blocking at Talladega the last or a couple weeks ago, going through 2-3 different positions, and Blaney sent him. I was hoping, Jovi would do the same, but Jovi's a classy driver. Nick trying to hold on to his position after bumping the wall. Jovi going to try to reel him back in, Chad. I think at this point you've seen his hand. You've seen what Nick is willing to do. You've seen him block. You've seen him go up and behind. Give him the bump.
Yeah, 6 to go. I still don't know if Jovi's got the fuel. He kind of backed off that last time entering turn 1 and let the 3 get back out front. So he could still be trying to save a little bit of fuel, but he's hanging with them, though. Those tires obviously are coming back to Jovi Ray. As I thought maybe the 3 was going to start to pull away. He opened it up to about 4/10, and then Jovi Ray said come back here and closed it right back onto that bumper of Nick Gowan.
Yeah, and Dakota is coming into the shed, and he's already pit, so he's going to come on fresh tires, but will he play a factor in this decision between the 33 and 3? It looks like he's all the way down to the apron as far as he can away from these guys, and he is definitely faster on those fresher tires, but I don't know who's going to come away with this thing, but we're getting closer to the end, Shad, with now 5 to go as we come around through turns 1 and 2. Jovi Ray trying to get back to the 3, and we'll see if he can make the move on Nick Gowan. Nick Gowan trying to tuck in behind the 5 and pulling both of those cars down the backstretch.
Yeah, that is not going to help Jovi Ray having a lap down car in front of Nick Gowan that he can draft off of. Dakota or Devontae Peterson should be able to pull away, though, from these 2 with those fresher tires. But here for the next couple of laps, Gowan's going to be able to get a sniff of his draft, and it's going to hurt Jovi's Ray of passing him.
Jovi trying to stay the outside.
Yeah, he tried to send it in there. Nick had a late move up there to prevent Jovi from getting all the way around him.
And Chad, as a driver, with guys doing that, does that irritate you? Does that give you the sense of, you know what, if you're going to do that to me, I'm going to go full tilt and just go on and do what I got to do to get this win?
I think it just, you block me once, good for you. You block me twice, okay. You block me 3 times, you're in the wall. So, Jovi Ray, like we've said, has finished second a bunch of times so far this season. Nick Gowan, though, Nick Gowan, he sends it in a little deep, almost contact right there through turns 1 and 2. Nick Gowan, obviously, though, a clean racer. That him and Jovi haven't had any issues. Jovi gets tight and has to get out of the throttle coming off of 2, but those 2 haven't had any issues, so you definitely don't want to start one. But Jovi's running out of laps, and that mess up right there opened the gap back up. He's going to have to reel him back in, and it might take what you were talking about. He might have to give him that shot.
Coming off of turn 4, Shad, now for 2 laps to go when we get here. It's coming down to the nitty-gritty. It's the last chance for Jovi Ray to pull move on Nick Gowan. Last chance for Nick Gowan to make sure that he keeps the 33 behind him. I don't know who's going to come away with this, Chad. I'm looking at both of them. Both of them have been really fast tonight. Jovi Ray been in the top 5 all night. Nick Gowan pretty much been in the top 5 all night, besides of the last stop that he made to gather some extra fuel to make sure that he was good to go. But worked his way all the way back up to the lead when guys started having the pit. Jovi's there, Shad, coming off turn 4. We're going to see the white flag in the air.
Yeah, what does Jovi do right here? He's back in on the bumper of Nick Gowan. Does he give him a shot and get around him, or does he try to do it clean?
We're going to head down into turn 1. Jovi Ray on the outside, trying to make the move. Trying to carry as much speed.
Did not stick. He might get a run, though, here on him down this backstretch. Yes, he does. He gets a run. What's he going to do with it? Does he give him the bump and send him? He looks to the inside.
He is diving deep into the corner, Shad. Can he
slide
in front of the 3?
Can
the
3
cross
come
him
back
over?
at him? 3 crosses over. Gowan's going to pull him, though, on exit.
Coming to the front stretch through the restart zone. The 3 is going to be your winner again at Michigan. Jovi Ray going to finish second. third spot, going to go to Ryan Cruikshank. He was able to make it to the end of the race with the fuel miles. Cole Martin finishes fourth. Wesley Jeanette fifth. Logan Joyner, Chad, makes it to the end somehow as well and finishes sixth. Jason Blaney seventh. Dakota Ramsdale eighth. Jose Ruiz, the silent assassin, creeps it back up into the top 10. Gets a ninth place finish. John Tiller with another great run for him. Finishes in the top 10 tonight. I can't believe Logan Joyner and Ryan Crooks made it to the end, Chad.
Yeah, it's a heck of a job by them. I didn't think there was a chance for them, but they obviously knew what they were doing. Logan Jordan, we've seen him shutting off the car, and then with the fuel mileage in the draft, obviously helped him as well. But a great battle there for the win between the 3 and the 33, and 3 of Nick Gowan able to prevail at the end.
We're going to watch Nick Gowan's burnout and come on back for the top 3 post-race interviews. guys. All right, welcome back for Velocity Motorsports. Race number 7 at Michigan is now concluded. We've got our second multi-winner of the season, Nick Gowan, in the 3 Bass Pro Tracker machine is our winner tonight. Nick, you come away with your second win of the season at Michigan. It was one hell of a race. You and Jovi put on one hell of a show there for those last several laps where you guys were battling back and forth. Wasn't sure what was going to end up happening. We may have been up here in the booth saying Jovi just send him, but he didn't do it. So, big respect to you guys for the racing you guys did. You guys came off of turn 4, and it looked like it was going to be close coming to the finish line, but you were able to dive it down to that apron that's so useful here at Michigan, and we're able to get to the finish line before Jovi and get that second win of the season. So congratulations on that, but walk us through this entire race. It was a back and forth for you.
Yeah, it was a little bit back and forth. The first stage, I was thinking about just splitting the stage, but that caution came out and kind of at the right time, gave me the tire advantage at the start, and then I think Cole just saved a little bit more there, and passed me right at the exact right time when that second caution came out for the second stage. So still trying to figure out like what the air was doing to the cars and all that. So, but I knew at least early in the run, fresher tires are going to make a big difference. So I just wanted to try to use that into my advantage later on. I mean, with knowing that we're going to have the stage around lap 50, I was going to give us 60 to go. So it was going to be stretching our fuel tanks for sure. And I knew I wanted to run that first fuel stint after the stage as long as I could, just to give myself the best advantage as far as like at least catching up back to the leaders, because I knew they're going to pull a gap a little bit with me staying out longer and giving them a chance to pull away on their fresher tires those 3 or 4 laps. So didn't really know where I was going to be after that last pit stop, but just I guess I'm not sure if Jovi and those guys were saving fuel at all. I know they pitted 3 laps earlier than me, but I don't know. I was just trying to. I wanted the freshest tires there at the end, so I could at least attack and get up to the front quickly, quicker or sooner rather than later. And it kind of worked out. Just got track position, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull away from Jovi there. It looked like I got like I think the biggest gap I had on him was about half a second, and then he reeled me back in, and it was a battle from there. So he put up a hell of a fight. I wasn't sure if that crossover was going to work. I backed it up coming to the checker flag, and I saw him get the runoff too on that last lap, and I knew it was going to happen. But last time we were at a track like this, he goaded me to take in the inside, and he went to the outside, and he got the win that way. So I remembered that, and as long as I knew I had the outside, I had a chance. So I'm glad the crossover worked there at the end, and it was a heck of a battle there at the end.
Well, Nick, like you said, the crossover, Jovi Ray getting a heck of a run coming out turn 2. You kind of figured it was coming, and for the stage, the 31 did the same exact thing to you and was actually able to kind of hold on to it when you two were going back and forth. Were you kind of nervous that when you seen him sending it down low into turn 3 with the old tires that you guys had on, were you worried that you might not be able to get that run back to be able to get to the start-finish line before him?
I mean, well, yeah, it was definitely a concern. I just, as long as I had that outside on the entry of the corner, I think I could at least back the corner up to at least, even if I didn't have the run, at least get to his quarter panel and try to side draft him and slow him down just a little bit. But I knew it was going to be a drag race to the end, and I don't know. It just, I got lucky there with the crossover, because I mean he could have easily just checked up a little bit, just as easily checked up a little bit and kept me on the outside, and that would have ruined my momentum a little bit looking back at it. But yeah, heck of a race there. So I mean, yeah, I was a little worried to answer your question.
Well, Nick, now that makes you our second 2-time winner for this season, and we head off to Darlington next week, where the wall riding will continue. How do you feel about your chances going to the Lady in Black?
I like Darlington a lot. I have a good history there, a good track record there. Granted, I did say that about Rockingham, and look what happened. So, knock on wood. Hang on. Oh my God. Knock on wood that doesn't happen again or repeat itself. So, I usually feel confident, but I mean, it's also just a track that you can easily get caught up in someone else's mess. So it's very narrow and a little treacherous, especially coming off two. So, um, looking forward to it for sure, but we'll see what happens.
Well, Nick, congratulations again on that second win, becoming our second multi-winner of the season. You continue to stretch out your points lead. You had about a 33-point lead before this race, and now you finish behind or in front of the guy who is chasing you in second. So you're going to gain a couple more points there. You guys got the stage points as well. So this is becoming a normal traditional thing of seeing one of the three of you guys up. Well, I guess one of the two of you in the win box. But you three in the top three a lot this season. The only one not here tonight, obviously, is Nate Mon. But just a crazy season to start this thing out. We're 7 races now in. We've only got 6 or 7 races left before we get to the playoffs. You've got a pretty healthy lead, so you got some races where you could essentially not have to worry about anything. But I'm sure you're wanting to probably clinch out that regular season championship as far out in front of that playoff race as you can.
Yeah, definitely feeling comfortable with the points lead. I mean, it allows a little room for error, but granted, going after that regular season championship is going to be a battle because I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a race or two here that I miss, and got to take these wins as they come and try to go after as many points each weekend just to try to hang on to it, and hopefully that'll give me an advantage going in the playoffs if I make the playoffs. So. Yeah, always looking to get as good of a finish as I can each weekend, and hopefully I can make the playoffs and have a comfortable lead there too.
You're about 127 points in front of 10th place, so I think you're okay, or 12th place, sorry, to make it into the playoffs. So I think you're okay there, but we'll see. Like I said, congratulations. Any shout-outs for you?
Shout outs to the rest of the team, 619 Motorsports, and also Washed Up Motorsports. Myself, Jovi, and Cole finished the top 5 tonight. Logan just, I think, got squeaked out there in the last lap. It looks like with a 6th place finish. Tyler Belanger, I think, finished 15th, and unfortunately, I think Nathan Mon had a little hiccup on pit road, and that caused him to drop back, unfortunately. But I mean, great showing for the team. Thank you guys for the broadcasting every week, and thank you to Tyler Belanger and Rodney Ayers for being race control, and Michael Perdusky for kind of helping out with the league, and Tyler Teone's absence. So thinking about him as always, and hope he's recovering quickly, and hope he gets back soon. So, but yeah, that's about it. And thank you guys for the broadcast. I can't remember if I said that again, but
That's
it.
All right, well, that's going to be our winner tonight at Michigan for race number 7 in Velocity Motorsports. We're going to move on to our 2nd place finisher, who we've talked to several times now. Jovi, you were that close. Chad and I both were basically just saying, just send it in there, just send them. Go for that win. We knew Darlington was coming. You've had that race circled since basically joining the season here, where you could have had a chance to possibly go for back-to-back wins if you'd have got the win tonight. Since you feel so comfortable at Darlington, was there a thought in your head at all to give him the bump and send him at all?
Actually, no, I'm not that type of driver to send someone into the corner. I was like, I'd rather race respect because next thing you know, I could be on the other side of the foot, and I don't want someone to send me. I'd rather some good old clean, hard racing, and that's what we got, which was fun.
Well, Jovi, I mean, you qualified this race. You qualified in P8, so you didn't have to come from the back. I think your average is like plus 19 or plus 25 or something like that in these races. But tonight plus 6, so that qualifying position definitely helped you out with staying in the top 5 all night. You got the stage break points, and then you get the 2nd place finish. So that's definitely going to help you in the points as well. Just a great race by you. I don't know what we can expect next week at Darlington. I know you said you've had that thing circled and you've been waiting for it, and now it's here. So you've kind of, called your shot like Babe Ruth out there. But We'll see what happens here at Darlington.
Yeah, hopefully I can pull it off. Kind of put a little bit too much pressure on myself. Now I'm probably
You
gonna
might
wreck out of
have.
this one. Yeah,
Need to
yeah,
get
I'm
out of that
probably
second
gonna.
place finish streak you're on.
Yeah, I'll probably end up in dead last probably instead to end the streak.
Well, Jovi, I think from now on, when Kurt asked me, what do you think the top three is going to be for tonight's race, I'm just going to pencil you in at second. Um, we go next week to Darlington, a track that you've had circled. You've been saying that it's a favorite of yours. You are so close from finally breaking through to go to the top step of the podium tonight. Was it the fact that Gowan pitted 2 laps after you, or it was just great racing between you two? What did you need more there at the end?
I just needed to get to his outside. I was trying to hit him with my dummy move that I got from, the great Danny Ricardo, but he remembered. And this time, when I came out of two, I was carrying way too much speed to anticipate from going back to the inside to the outside. Because I did it to him at Nashville, and he remembered. But I mean, just needed to get to his outside. If I get to his outside, it was game over because I felt like I was a little faster there at the end of the run. Found a little speed. I don't know where I found the speed because whole race I was just complaining about how everyone was so much faster than me in 3 and 4, and somehow I'm here in P second.
Well, Jovi, Nick mentioned also when you guys came out of turn 4, he thought you would try to swing down and keep him on the outside. Did you have that thought, or were you just carrying too much speed into the corner to be able to get to the bottom, to get underneath him to use that apron like he did to get to the finish line first?
Yeah, I mean, when we went to that corner, I was like, I need to slow enough to just at least get out the corner to put up a fight. But as soon as we got to the middle, I was screaming, "Baby, just turn for me one time," and she just would not turn. She was just going straight. I did everything I could.
Well, you definitely ran a great race tonight from start to finish. So congratulations on another P2. I think you might have to change your number next season. Maybe you can push for Ryan to jump out of the 2, and you can get the 2. We'll throw an ND right after your 2 on the side of your car. But just another great run by you, and you continue your streak of second place finishes, and you're still second in the points as well. So a lot of 2s in your boat here, or maybe you go to the 22. I don't. Maybe Jason Blaney will get out of the 22 for you, but congratulations again. Any shout outs for you?
Shout out to the team, Nick. Good win, good race. That was fun racing, chasing him down. Shout out to Nate Cole and Logan. Wish they had a little bit better runs for Nate on checking his tires, but it is what it is. Shout out to you guys for this broadcast. Shout out to Tyler for the league. It's fun racing. Shout out to the rest of the pack for always fun, clean racing.
Well, that's going to move us on to our third place finisher, and that is going to be the 2 of Ryan Crooks that had to deal with a pass through penalty to start this race because of last week's jump on the restart to win that race. Luckily, just had the pass through, and then Lady Luck strikes again half a lap later, and a caution comes out, and he does not go a lap down, puts him still on the lead lap. And Ryan, you come flying up through the field, you get up into the top 10. After the stage break, you're right there for contention for the top 3. And I was wondering if you were going to be able to get back by Cole Martin because Shad was so adamant of thinking that you were not going to be able to make it in fuel. I just kept thinking I'm going to see the 2 and I'm going to see the 34 just start dropping positions because you guys were going to run out of fuel. But you guys had enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had to serve a drive-through at the start. Got an early caution. Ball never lies, man. My story, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, man, getting caught back in traffic. I thought I'd be able to work my way up a little faster than I did, but the air here in the cars, there's so much dirty air in the corners, and this track really wears out the right front. You carry so much speed in the corner, and there's a lot of guys run like middle to high, so anything you can really do to try to keep clean air on the car, and really worked our way up pretty good after the first caution, and put ourselves in good position to come down and pit during the stage, and I think we worked our way up to 14th or 15th on the right before the end of the stage break. So was unable to get stage points, but yeah, great run for us. I came down and pitted. About lap 79, I knew I needed to make it to 83 to really have a shot at a one stop, but I thought I was only going to really be able to make it to like 81, and So on, I think, lap 80 or 81, I was like, well, I'm going to have to pit twice. So let me just go ahead and come down and pit now and get these fresh tires. And came down and pitted, got into my stall really good, had a great entrance and exit, really maximized, and came out in front of the 34. And when I got out, I checked my fuel, and I was like, man, like, it says I can really make it. I just got to save like a couple of tenths of gas. And yeah, it really worked on the first part of the run trying to save gas. Jovi rode behind me and kind of kept me at pace with the 34. And I really thought it was going to come down. I didn't know what lap Jovi pitted, but it turned out he pitted one lap after me. And I saved a little bit on the beginning of the run, and Jovi stayed behind me. And I was thinking if I could keep him behind me, and he kept pushing me to keep pace with the 34. At some point, I'd be able to turn it loose and go. But it was just really close on gas, and I just wanted to make sure I brought home a good points day, so I didn't really push. And once we got about 3 to go, I knew that the 31, I felt like I didn't know if he was if Cole was trying to save gas or if he had burned his right front up, but I could really, when I wanted to push, I could get to him and set him up for about a lap and a half, and had a great run out of 4 and got right to his quarter panel and was able to side draft and get by him. But all in all, it was a great race. The strategy, the fuel races really kill me, man. I struggle with the fuel mileage races. Kind of do it all by myself, calculation wise, while I'm driving down the back stretch and front stretch. We were clicking all the F whatever buttons, pulling up gas and how much to go, and trying to run the race backwards in my head. But yeah, it worked out. We crossed the line with like 2 tenths of gas, had just enough to coast back, started sputtering down the front stretch. So it worked out all in all. It was a good night.
Well, Ryan, I would suggest if you don't have it, do you get sim racing apps because it does all those calculations for you.
You said sim racing apps?
Yep.
Yeah,
10-4.
simracingapps.com. You can go and get the download and then pull up the widgets. You can get
And
the
it's
fuel
free.
calculator. You can get pretty much anything you want for track map. You can get all of it. So
10-4. That's all you had to say.
And it's free.
Yeah, that's the best part, right?
Yeah, so obviously penalty, you had to start from the rear. Luckily you get that early caution. Actually, we don't even get to turn 1 and we already have a caution, but or we complete 1 lap and then get a caution. But anyways, it took you a while, but finally we see you back up in the top 10 running really strong. You came down, you pit. I didn't think you or the 34 had any shot in making it. I guess just explain to the people at home what it takes around this track where you're, full throttle for so much of it, what it takes to be able to save those 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, when you realize you're going to be, when you realize you got to save a little bit, if you know you're good on gas, you'll roll into the corner deeper, apply a little bit of brake, and just get the car to rotate. When you know you need to save gas, you're going to lift a little bit earlier and try to just stay off the brake. You really want to let the car slow itself down. It eats the right front up a little bit, depending on how deep you drive, but you really want to lift earlier, stay out of the gas to kind of slow you to where you don't have to accelerate as quick to keep momentum, because at the same time, you're running 2 races. You're trying to save gas, but also trying to keep pace with, if anybody does run out of gas, you're there to capitalize, or if there's a late caution, you don't lose too much track position. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but really it's just rolling out of the gas earlier and letting the car slow itself down instead of applying brakes. When you apply the brake, you really kill momentum middle of the corner, and you got to get back to the gas a lot earlier. And if you don't, you just really lose pace. And, yeah, you save gas, but you really kill the purpose of, you want to be there to capitalize in case anything happens. And yeah, it worked out. I found myself in this position a lot. I knew when the 3 came by that I knew the 3 was going to be good on gas. After we pitted after the stage break, I know he gave up track position and came down and pitted again. And that extra 1 or 2 laps really let him run to about lap 84 and pit. And if you made it to 84, you could run all the way out as hard as you wanted the rest of the race. So knew when the 3 came by, I had a choice. I was either going to race him and risk running out of gas, or I was going to try to let him go and see if he could get a couple other people in the front to race him and see if they could run out of gas. But yeah, everybody made it. Everybody did a great job calculating fuel mileage and what they needed to get to the end, and everybody raced clean. I saw the move Jovi put going into 3 and 4, and that move is so tricky when you're leading, when you're in 3's position, because you see a dive bomb coming, he's going to wash up, so you you're trying to calculate if he's going to clear. You want to make sure you lift enough to where you can still get back in the gas and crank it left and get up under him. And if you don't think he's going to get to you, you want to stand on it and just hope the guy races you clean. But yeah, all in all, it was a really great race. Very entertaining. I hope it was fun for you guys to call.
Well, it was definitely fun to watch up here in the booth, and we definitely appreciate you guys putting on a show week in and week out. A lot of great finishes, a lot of great runs throughout the races and things like that. Back to the minimal amount of cautions that we got for tonight. Maybe the owner admins, I think they were talking after last week's at Rockingham that they were never going to put Rockingham on the schedule again. So we'll see what happens here when we get to Darlington next week. And then we've got Talladega coming up after that, then Bristol. And then we've got the final race of the regular season before we get to the playoffs. So got to get into that top 12. This is definitely going to help you, I think, move up in there. You're in ninth, so you moved up into the top 12 now, so you're in the playoff spot. You just can't miss any more races as you've missed the beginning of the season, and then you missed another one there. And then I think you had a malfunction with the internet or something when you were leading at Texas. But
Yeah.
Just a great race by you guys. We appreciate all three of you guys for coming into the booth and giving us all the information you guys can. Any shout outs for you in that deuce?
Yeah, just big thanks to you guys. I know everybody says it, but just super cool what we do here on Tuesday nights and every night you guys broadcast. Bring so much energy and anticipation and excitement to what we do. So, you guys just make a huge difference. It's always a blast to go back and watch these races, and you really gain a different perspective of what's going on just outside of the cockpit. So a lot of fun, and I know Tyler for everything he puts in, and everybody that helps him out, reviewing these races every week, coming out with these reports, and doing the best job you can. It's got to be super hard. I know I could never do it. I don't have the patience, and the patience Tyler has to put all this together, and got so many different personalities and so many things happen at one time. So just huge thank you to everybody, and you guys especially. And looking forward to Lady in Black. Love the track. Definitely a driver's track. Separates men from the boys. So yeah, we'll see next week what everybody's got, but I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, well, that's going to wrap us up here at Michigan. Shad, what is your final, I guess, look at this race here, and what your expectations were for this race?
I think we've seen it. We've seen great 3-4 wide racing. We've seen cars that could save tires, make their way to the front, and the guys that couldn't, fall to the back. My two guys I kind of highlighted both didn't have the greatest of nights.
You got to stop highlighting, guys.
Yeah, apparently I'm just not gonna pick a winner. Not gonna pick a highlight driver for the evening. I'm just
maybe for Jovi's sake, you can highlight Nick and Ryan.
Nah, yeah, maybe that would help him out, maybe, because it seems like whoever I talk about just does not have a great night. So, unfortunate, for Murphy, finishing last in this race, being the first car out. I think they're actually the only car out of the race. He currently sits 12 points to the good right now in 11th place right now. So Murphy cannot afford to have any more races like this if he wants to be in that top 12. But overall, a great race, great battling between the leaders. Whoever was the leader, we've seen great racing. Big night, racing with, for Logan Joyner. He was up there a lot. Ryan Crook's making that comeback, even with, having to do the drive-through at the start of the race. Gowan, Jovi, all up there up front pretty much the entire night. So, great racing by everyone. Glad to see the cautions weren't an issue this week. I didn't think it would be because Michigan's just a great racetrack. But, we changed gears going to next week, Kurt. A very tough track. Pretty much single groove, especially through 1 and 2. If you're going through there too wide, it is very tricky. 3 and 4, not as much, but it's going to come down to throttle control, patience, and whoever can make the least amount of mistakes and make it through any mayhem that we do have. That's going to be your winner for next week. Darlington is not easy to drive. Anyone watching that has not driven Darlington, whether it's the trucks, Xfinity, Next Gens, it is tough. And the speed is just like it is in real life. It's the same as on this sim of iRacing, where the speed is up by the wall, and if you're 6 inches from it, you're fast. If you're 2 feet away from it, you're not fast. And that's just the way it is there. But I can't wait. I love Darlington. It's probably top two. Texas being number one of my favorite tracks, and I'm hoping we get to see some throwback schemes. I just put in the chat for all these guys, letting them know I'm going to do $10 specials unless it's some kind of crazy design they want, to where they want a throwback scheme. I'll make it for $10. So I'd like to get as many as possible, and help these guys out and make it like it is in real NASCAR when they go there and be a throwback night. But overall, Kurt, amazing night. Can't wait for next week. And, glad to be up here with you as always.
Well, I definitely agree. I'd love to see some throwback paint schemes for next week. A lot of great numbers in the field with the high number of entries we always have each week in this league. I'd love to see a lot of different paint schemes and numbers and things like that thrown in to the race at Darlington. I think it's a great track to always do those throwbacks under the lights and the speed and the racing and the style of racing and the one lanes. It's a crazy week or crazy night. So make sure everybody tunes in next Tuesday. We'll go live about 7:30 again, and tune in Thursday for the Spartan Challenge Series, where I'll be in with repeat over on iRock TV, on Facebook, YouTube, and on iRock TV on Roku. If you don't have that Roku stick, go out and get you a $20 Roku stick, or on your TV if you have the Roku app, type in iRock TV and download that app and watch the races live from there in 4K. So we appreciate our sponsors, Admin Box, Alexandria Customs, Swag Designs, and CanadaShopTrophy.com. Definitely appreciate all those sponsors and stuff. Definitely appreciate Tyler for doing everything he does here to keep us entertained up here in the booth, as we've had some really great races this season, and we've got plenty more to go. And definitely look forward to seeing everybody again next Tuesday at about 7:30.
you